There's nothing quite like watching Karens get some legal karma in the courtroom, is there? When years of plaguing public life finally catches up to them and they're made to pay for their crimes. And what's better? You can be the judge. So let's get into it. It's easy to mistake our first clip with an Oscar-winning acting performance, but trust me, this is 100% real and 100% Karen.
I feel so attacked right now. I don't know what to do. Somebody please send help. I'm just so attacked. Help! He's the gavel. He's beating me.
Somebody get this ham sandwich out of my court.
No. Business, right? Has nothing to do with
Miss
you
Hardwick?
boys. No.
You will be held in contempt of this court if you become disruptive.
I don't care. I haven't done anything to this court. I haven't done anything to him.
She will be arrested for contempt of the court.
It doesn't make any difference.
You will serve 10 days for contempt of court. Go now.
Imagine turning up to court and you have a Karen defending you. You better say goodbye to your freedom, just like this unlucky criminal.
Were you present in this building on November 30th, 2023?
Yes, please.
Why did you come to the building on that day?
I had a court date for an arraignment.
Okay, do you remember what time you showed up at the court?
I think around 10, maybe.
And when you came into the building, what happened?
Walked in, Beth approached me. Seemed like she wanted to help me. She told me I didn't need a lawyer. And the judge suggested that I should talk to one.
Okay, can I stop you for a minute? You said Beth approached you. Do you see Beth in the courtroom today?
Yeah.
What's she wearing?
Jacket.
I'd ask the court to, or the record to reflect that Mr. Flores identified as Bridgman.
And the district court is clerking it, and they're telling me they're having a hard time hearing the witness. Mr. Flores, can you speak up and use your outside voice?
Yeah.
Should I repeat the question?
No, go ahead.
Okay. And so before you walked into the building on the 30th, did you know Beth?
No.
You just met her on that day?
Yeah.
And when you went into the courtroom, did anyone go with you?
No.
You don't remember anyone being in the courtroom with you?
They didn't walk in with me. Or
I guess I can clarify. Once you were in the building and then you went into the room where the judge is. Did anyone go
Okay,
with you
leading
in
the
building?
witness, come on.
But that's just laying overrules. Go ahead.
yes, I walked in the courtroom.
I thought you would have prepped them better than this page.
Mr. Bridgman, that is not a proper objection. That's an interjection. That's disorderly. Don't do that. I know you're an adult human being, so you're capable of controlling yourself. So please do so. This is a format that has to be dignified and follow proper procedures and be orderly.
Okay, you just made my case, Judge, because your oath is not properly in order.
Mr. Flores, so just to repeat, when you went into the room with the judge, did anyone go with you?
Just Beth.
Okay. And at some point when you were in the room, do you remember if Beth said anything to the judge?
That I didn't need a lawyer.
I didn't say that in the court.
Hang on, you
Leading the
can't.
witness. You're putting words in his mouth.
You'll have an opportunity to ask questions, but you can't interject.
Well, I have to object.
Okay. And then at some point, did the judge tell you to do anything?
Speak to a lawyer.
Okay. Did you ever speak to a lawyer
Objection.
on that day?
What's your objection?
She's just leading. She's taking him through every step, which I can refute. And she's telling him, you should have done this prior, Paige. You should have had him been here earlier and prepped him.
She asked him a question, did this happen? And he said, yes, that's perfectly
That's
proper.
leading.
That is
No,
not
she
leading.
should ask him what
Objection.
happened.
Do you recall what happened when you tried to, or when an attorney approached you in the hallway?
Beth tried speaking to him and wouldn't let him speak to me.
Do you remember who that lawyer was?
Gilbert.
And were you ever able to talk to Gilbert about your arraignment?
Only after.
What do you mean by only after?
I don't think I did. Maybe like a couple of days or a week after.
Okay, but not on the 30th. Did you ever talk to Mr. Gilbert?
No, not there, no.
And did you ever give any paperwork back to the court that morning?
Yes, I did.
Did you write anything on that paper?
Can we ask him what he did? Objection?
She is overruled.
No, she's not.
Not completely sure what I wrote on the ticket. Something about it's my personal vehicle, or it wasn't my personal vehicle, and I wasn't driving.
You know, as lawyers, you'd think these Karens would understand you're not meant to argue with and upset judges. Otherwise, this happens.
Good afternoon, Judge. Karen Stevens, in pro per for my motion for sanctions against Mr. Nicoletti for this vexatious and frivolous PPO.
I'm sorry, on this what?
I have a motion for sanctions against...
I know that. And the purpose of the sanctions are based on what?
It was a frivolous and vexatious PPO based on nonsense. I am not stalking Mr. Nicoletti.
I haven't signed a PPO.
His petition for a PPO. Let me...
Okay, were you served?
No, I wasn't, but may I...
No, you may not. How can you ask to sanction someone when you haven't even been served?
That's the point.
Stevens, do not interrupt me when I'm speaking, ma'am.
I have a constitutional right to be heard.
On what basis? There is no case before me, ma'am, other than the fact that you filed this frivolous motion, taking up this court's time for no good reason other than your own personal vendetta against this man for whatever reason you may have, and I really don't care because it does not involve me or my court. However, had I issued a PPO, you would have a basis to be before me. I did not issue a PPO. He did not pursue his right to a hearing on the PPO. You were never served, and here you are taking up my time so that you want me to chastise him and make him pay money? No, ma'am. Your relief is denied, and in addition to that, I am sanctioning you with costs of $500 forthwith to the county clerk's office.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I knew it was fixed.
I beg your pardon?
I said I knew it was fixed.
Miss Stevens, I highly suggest that you just exit my courtroom and go pay the sanctions before I find you in contempt.
Now, where do I go?
The clerk's office in the main part of the courthouse.
Oh, wait.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I would like to call...
Ma'am, stop. I know you want to control this room, but this isn't Burger King. When the sign changes to Burger King, you can have it your way. Right now, this is my courtroom, and you will answer my questions. Ma'am, stop. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? Yes or no? Are you going to tell the truth? All right, I'll take that as silence. I understand her attorney is on here. Where is her attorney?
He's the big right now.
Again, say anything again without telling me you're going to tell the truth, and I will hold you in contempt of court for 93 days. Contempt carries with it 93 days and or $7,500. You will not act disrespectful in this.
This brainless Karen has been suspended from driving due to a ticket violation, but shows up from court in her car. She deserves what she's gonna get.
You got a ticket for driving with a suspended or revoked license, and you're sitting in the driver's seat of a car right now.
I had to take my kids to school.
Well, there's no take your kids to school exception to your suspended driver's license. You didn't show up for your arraignment.
Yeah, I was actually in the hospital. I had a kidney infection. I have all the proof for that.
So you had an unpaid ticket and you were going to pay it. So
yeah, I just couldn't pay right then because I had been off work for my health issues, and then I had school that had just started back up, and I had to pay my household bills.
Well, and you're still driving, so that's not a good combination.
I have all the proofs for my vehicle, though.
Well, you don't have a license. Stop doing your hair. Try to pay attention to the fact that we're having a court case. I want you to have that stuff paid off. You need to make it a priority.
Okay.
All right. You're good to go.
All right, thank you.
This criminal turned Karen thinks she's about to get let off the hook, but when the verdict doesn't go his way, this happens.
Court determines that you have or will have the ability to pay restitution. The verdict was guilty in count 1, aggravated burglary, felony 1, guilty in count 2, aggravated burglary, felony 1, guilty in count 3, aggravated robbery, felony 1, guilty in count 4, felony 1, guilty in count 5, abduction, felony 3, and guilty in count 7, which I renumbered for the jury as count 6. The ability to pay restitution.
Courtroom racist, bitch! Your courtroom, man! You racist as fuck!
Wait a minute. When I said that you had a certain amount of remorse, I was mistaken. So that's 28 years with credit for 231 days.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, man. Let me out. Let me out.
The job that I was working, I lost in April. And so my income has declined. And I'm asking for an adjustment in the child support amount due to the changes in income.
Any other proposed changes you're requesting, ma'am?
I don't know if this is something I could do at the same time, but I would like to also adjust the overnights to increase, to just adjust to what we have been doing the past couple years. Due to summer performance schedules, the girls have spent a couple extra nights with me. So it would be 4 additional for Effie, our oldest, and 10 additional for Amelia, the youngest, per year.
Okay, that may or may not make much of an impact as far as that little change of overnights, but I will see what Mr. Jarvie's position is regarding the overnights.
Okay.
Your motion also referenced something about childcare.
Oh, they don't need childcare payment anymore because they come home to me after school. So there's no childcare after school anymore. So I wanted that removed, yes.
And ma'am, are you working then at this time or not working?
I am not. I've been looking for a job all summer, and right now I'm looking into gaining a certificate so that I'll have an additional endorsement either for special education, autism spectrum disorder, or speech, language, and impairment, or I'm also looking into a K-12 education administration program. So because there's no jobs available in my expertise, my certification within 100 miles, and I wasn't able to apply to the ones that are outside the area because I asked and he said we couldn't move over 100 miles. So I may be becoming a student as soon as in a couple of weeks to gain a certification. So that's an additional graduate certificate, so about 21 extra graduate level credits.
And I understand that you're not working, but the court has the obligation to consider whether or not somebody could be working, and you can do what is called imputing income to somebody.
Okay.
If you got a different job, then we would take into consideration what that different job is, if it is a lower paying job. If you're not able to obtain the same type of paying job,
right,
I would certainly consider changing what your monthly amount is, but until we know what you're able to obtain, the court typically goes off of what somebody was previously making, as that is shown as a history of the ability to make that amount. So if you aren't currently working, we don't have the ability to have another job to consider for payment. So at this point, I'm not really inclined to change the income until we know what your next job would pay, whether it's more or less of what you were previously making. As to the child care, we can certainly lower that. And then you also raised whether or not there were changes in the income for Mr. Jarvie. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm not aware of his income, but I would assume that pay scale's gone up for the teaching scale.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Can you tell me what she just said in regards to Nick Sarabia?
Mentioned that Nick Sarabia.
All right, thank you. You said that Nick Sarabia was the children's father, but you just told me that.
I'm sorry, he is not the children's father. He was the boyfriend at the time. He is locked up right now. We have not spoken.
And then why were you dishonest with me about your drug test?
I'm sorry. That was 7 days ago. I didn't think that it was.
No. That should not be in your system from 7 days ago. When's the last time you used, and what are you using on a regular basis?
7 days ago.
What are you using?
It was meth on 7 days ago.
No, listen to my question. What drugs are you using?
Meth.
How often are you using meth?
Last time we did it was 7 days ago. 7 days.
And what else are you using? And what is the father, Mr. Bloodworth, what is he using?
Nothing. Are you brother? Nothing.
I find that people,
We don't live together. We both share custody of my kids. They live with me and then they live with their dad.
she's
A joint custody.
Time out. You're being very dishonest and slippery with me because I asked you. My mind is a steel trap, but I wanted the court reporter to read back because maybe my mind is failing, but I highly doubt that. You told me that your children were living with you and their father, and you said the other father he's not a part of anything. Now you're telling me, oh no, he doesn't live with me. It's on and off. You've been dishonest with me from the very beginning. You were dishonest when I asked you if you're going to be positive. You were dishonest about that. Then you were dishonest about Bloodworth. I don't even know if this is this person's real name or not. Then you were dishonest about Sarabia. At first, and later you said he was the father of your children. Now he's not the father of your children. You're just being dishonest all across the board with the court, and I don't appreciate it. And dishonesty has nothing to do with nerves. You heard my questions. My questions were very specific. All right, this is what the court is going to do. I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to recall the warrant. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. CPS involved in your life?
No.
Why are you saying no? They should be. You're using meth and you're taking care of children. CPS should be involved in your life.
As soon as this judge realizes she's got a Karen mom on her hands, she carries out her judgment to the fullest extent of the law.
Are you employed?
No.
How are you supporting yourself?
I'm not.
Who's supporting you?
Nobody.
Well, what are you eating other than drugs?
I have food stamps.
I'm sorry, what?
I have food stamps.
Who's giving you food stamps? You don't have your child with you. Those food stamps are for your child.
Yes, ma'am. I just recently applied and I got approved for emergency food stamps.
I cannot understand a word you're saying.
Applied and I got approved for emergency food stamps.
I know people who really should have food stamps that don't get approved. You don't have your child with you. You're using meth. You're probably selling your food stamps for meth. And this is a tampering with a government record. I don't even know if you obtain your food stamps legitimately. What did you tell them in order to get food stamps? Because you don't qualify. I think she's probably going to end up with another criminal case.
Yes.
Because I don't know a government giving out food stamps to people who won't work. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have your child with you. Somebody else is taking care of your child. Oh, no, not for me. Thank you.
I have to look for work. It's like one of the conditions that they gave me in order to get food stamp. I'm supposed to be going to the workforce.
Well, you're obviously doing a poor job of it, but I tell you what, you're in this court, you're going to have employment. I'm not going to, the length of probation is outside the agreement. So it's going to be more than 4 years in this court because she has a lot of work that needs to be done I don't know why you're giving me the attitude.
No, I'm not trying to. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are. Either that or it's because you're high. I don't know which one it is, but you're giving me attitude, and that attitude will most likely be readjusted by me at the Bexar County Jail. I don't know if your attorney told you this, but I can send you to the Bexar County Jail as a condition of this probation, and I can also send you to the state jail facility as a condition of this probation for attitude readjustment. Do you want that?
No.
All right. I'm going to sentence her to 6 years deferred adjudication. You're getting a job. And there are plenty of jobs that are available. You're going to knock your pride aside. And if you're going to be flipping burgers at McDonald's or working on fries, you're going to be the best fry person you can be until you move up. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
How far did you go in school?
9th grade.
9th grade. Why did you drop out? What were these problems? You using drugs?
No, not necessarily. Just like things that were going on with my mom's marriage and everything else.
Mm-hmm. And what's that tattoo on your neck? All right. People love to put down sands on their bodies because they can't remember them. All right, it's going to be a $1,500 fine probated, proof of employment, and it's going to be proof of full-time employment within 15 days. If you have to get 2 part-time jobs, you will get 2 part-time jobs for the court.